Hey guys, welcome to Drag and Drive News, your source for news and entertainment from the Drag and Drive community. And guys, this week kicks off the Drag and Drive News presented by Summit Racing. Hey, I want to say good morning to everybody in here today. On today's show, we'll talk about the deal with Summit Racing, the first wave of 2023 racing lists, who is already faster in 2023, and plus a few that are slower. And then we're gonna end the show with some funny memes and pictures in the entertainment segment brought to you by Howard's Cams. Guys, I know everybody has been asking about the Summit Racing deal. I've had some messages and things like that. I want to apologize right out of the gate. I'm looking at my notes up here, but I want to say thank you to Summit Racing, but I want to say thank you to everybody that's out there. It is because of you that this happened. The Drag and Drive show and Drag and Drive News are both now presented by Summit Racing because of their commitment to the Drag and Drive community. The racer results will now be the Summit Racing or the dragandrive.com racer results presented by Summit Racing. And my most favorite thing, I don't know why I'm wearing these headphones. We don't have a guest in. Eric is backstage helping out, so I'm going to pull those off. But the award show that we wanted to have last year at PRI is on for this year. I'm so pumped about being able to give you guys and girls more awards, more recognition, more deserving things that you obviously deserve. So it's exciting that we're going to be able to do that. And one of the biggest benefits of this partnership is that I'll be announcing at both Summit Racing Autocross Week and Midwest Drags. So that is obviously a huge win for all of us because it means I'm going to be out in the world more than I was in 2022. Maybe, I don't know. We're going to see. So that's a big win. Summit Racing, thank you so much. Again, thank you everybody that has made this possible by watching and sharing and liking all these posts and making comments. So that's a huge win for the whole community. You know, Summit Racing is at most of these events anyways. They actually sponsor several of them. So it's a logical thing for them to also be involved in all of the stats and things that we do, which we're going to talk about here in just a few minutes. And they came on board as the presenting sponsor of the circuit, which is the Drag and Drive event that I host in Joplin, Missouri, April 14th through 16th. So if you haven't gone to thecircuitdnd.com or found the circuit on Facebook, I would invite you to do that. So thank you to them. But speaking of racer lists, the fastest 100 dropped obviously the Monday after sick week. Then I have been working on the 235 eighth mile, which was a brand new list for 2023. And then 11, 12, 13, and 14-second lists are also being worked on. I've got them mostly done. The biggest difference for 2023 and those ET-based lists are you are not able to make a pass faster than that, let's say 11.0 index, which is, or 11.000, okay, to make that list. So there are actually several people that were running 8s and 9s, but had an off day and would have ended up on the 11-second list. So you're not populated on that list. So the list is meant to be your fastest average possible, right? As we move through stuff, we'll see if that is a good formula or not. That is not how we did it in 2022 or the 2021 stats. So there's going to be some people that are upset because they're not on the list this year, even though they had an 11.0. I think I took someone off that had an 11.03 average because they had submitted several 10 or even a 9-second ET slow. So got to keep that in mind. It's going to be a shorter list this year, but the 235 list will be out Monday. And then our current top 3 in the 235 list are Jordan Tuck and Devin Vanderhoof. Then Sheldon Root and Kevin Foy, and Larry Albright and Paul Lewis are the top three on that list. Again, we are adding co-pilots to the lists this year because co-pilots are as important or almost as important as a racer in our thoughts there. So let's do a quick ad read and then jump into some of the comments. So we're excited to have the team at Sweet Patina on board as the Built for Drag and Drive sponsor for 2023. Sweet Patina has a full offering of detailed products from car wash soap to degreaser to interior conditioning. My favorite item they offer is the TKO hand cleaning wipes, which are not in here. I was actually using them in the shop yesterday when I changed the oil in the wife's car. So they're perfect for wrenching on the car in the garage, those challenging roadside repairs, which we all know Drag and Drive does that, when junkyard hopping, and on those once in a lifetime barn find recoveries, or just around the house when water may be scarce. Use code DND57 at checkout for a discount on your order at Sweet Patina. All right, looks like we got a bunch of comments here. Again, thank you to Eric for hanging out in the back, taking care of all of this stuff. If you don't follow, Eric White is he's our co-host on the weekly Drag and Drive show. I see Red Hat Scotty here says can't make this happen without co-pilots. That is for sure. And his dad is his co-pilot. The dude loved the father and son teams. So we have a Facebook user says, I kind of think it would be cool to hear from Summit to know how much of a increase in parts sales 1 month leading up to each Drag and Drive. I bet it's huge. I guarantee it's huge. And I wonder if they would let us know how many parts are purchased on a Drag and Drive. So I'll work on that. I'll reach out to those guys and see if we can get them on. I know they are at Lights Out right now. So they had planned to possibly be on the Drag and Drive show as an announcement, but it just didn't work with the schedule and them driving to Lights Out. So appreciate them for that for sure. And then I agree with the decision on the index average. Thank you. Gives the guys that are doing those index classes a fair chance to set high in their index. That's right. The biggest thing with the list is we want it to be, obviously, we were figuring this stuff out in 2022, just as everybody else that was watching it was figuring out with us as well. So we took a lot of the feedback that we had heard throughout the year and implemented that this year, and we'll see if it is a worthwhile move or not. I will tell you, there were several people that I pulled off of the 11-second list that did have 9-second passes and maybe 10-second passes and things like that. So, all right, perfect. Here we go. Yeah, David Maxon here says the best co-pilot around Red Hat Scotty for sure. All right. And here is one last one talking about the Summit. I know Summit has about 75% of parts this year at Sick Week and able to fill racers' needs. They really have been taking a list for at least the last 2.5 years of things they need to keep on the truck while they're at these events. And so they are, always making that much better. And with them having so many warehouses across the country, next day delivery is always possible, and they'll ship it to the next track, and then all you have to do is go to the Summit truck to pick up your parts. So pretty good deal. Lights Out. Who does Duck think he is? Yeah, I'm telling you, we don't need him getting into some Drag and Drive stuff. It'd be pretty wild. So let's get back to some stuff here, guys. I want to apologize about missing yesterday. I had all of my notes saved and everything, and then somehow it was gone. So, but ended up yesterday afternoon with a great day. All right, let's talk about who is already faster for 2023 than they were for 2022. Now, there are some names missing off of this. I am writing an entire article about this that will be out probably on Tuesday with pictures and conversations from different racers that made that list. So 61 racers, that's right, 61 racers from Sick Week are already faster than their 2022 average. And a few of these racers are Darts Laws. Oh, hang on. Where did my notes go? Got to get down here. I need like a prompter. Eric, let's work on a prompter. Darts Laws lowered his average by 2.7 seconds in a 65 Olds 442 from Sick Week 2022. Reached out to him and asked, how did you do that? He said that last year he had ran a really fast time on day one, had hurt the engine and just limped it through. And then Tom told him, hey, you have a possibility to be in the top 100 if you let this thing hang out. And so he let the thing hang out and got back in. His average this year was an 881. So congratulations to him. 2.7 second swing is a lot. Timothy Blythe in the 74 or 70 Triumph, I don't know, whatever it is, a pro mod car now because he's extended the front end and stuff. He dropped his average by 2.57 seconds, basically because he built an entirely new car under the sheet metal of that, plus about an 8-inch extension on the front. And he added a second turbo to the engine. So now it's got like these two gigantic turbos right in the front. Super cool car. Look up Blythe Life Racing. Chad Knoll went from a 12.415 average last year to a 10.153 average. So 2.3 seconds in his 63 Corvette. And he replied back in time to make the notes. He said, I broke the blower in 2022, so I was limping it to make the trip. The car's been 980s, never really intended on seriously drag racing it. It's got AC, overdrive, power steering, and power windows. I think that's a perfect drag and drive car. Maybe not drag race car, but that's a perfect drag and drive car. And then to round out our top folks that lowered their ET average for 2023. Robbie Dowdy dropped just over 2 seconds in his Trailblazer SS from an 1185, which was actually the cam only Trailblazer SS record. And I think he did a new valve train and some nitrous, and now he has a 9814 in the same truck. Tons of upgrades to the engine and the nitrous. So congratulations to him. I know they made the week. They were with the CTSV that was white with flames last year. Jordan was his passenger or co-pilot this year. So pretty exciting there. Slower for 2022 are some very familiar names that are going to surprise some folks. I know these racers will be back because of who they are. The top two racers are actually racers that in 2021 competed in 5 national events. Steve Willingham came out in a brand new car. He missed one of the events last year. I was really worried he wasn't going to come out at all, but in his brand new Buick Grand National Turbo LS, got a huge turbo on it. He dropped his average dropped more than 3.7 seconds from his 5th gen Camaro. So once he gets that car sorted out, I know it's going to be very, very fast. And I know this is probably some nerdy stuff, but guys, this kind of stuff is what really gets me going. And I know it's pretty wild, but his car on Monday ran an 8.615. So he's going to be very, very fast. He ended the week with something over I think it's like a 12.3 or something like that. I didn't put that in my notes here. So Steve Willingham, slowest difference, but it's obviously 2 different cars. Robert Williams, another big name who has been around drag and drive for a very long time, slips more than 2.7 seconds with Weapon X, but he's going to be back at Midwest Drags for redemption in Weapon X. He's building a car for Rocky Mountain Race Week. That entire family, Robert and David, and Robert's wife, they all do drag and drive. Robert's wife was his co-pilot for this year for Sick Week. So his best pass submitted was an 8.242. So he ended up with almost an 11-second average. And that's way off for Weapon X. And then our favorite drag and drive racer, Mr. Do 'em all. I don't know what we got to call him, but man, he is crazy. Tom McGilton brought out the 34 Ford out of retirement. In 2022, he had the Why Not Camaro out, and the 34 Ford is 2.2 seconds slower than the Camaro. Obviously, 2 completely different cars, but it was so cool to see the Ford back out. It had not been out in 11 years. So kind of a neat deal. I love that car. I really had intended to get over and talk to them for a few minutes and just did not have the time, obviously leaving early on Tuesday. So we won't be leaving the next event early, I hope. So anyways, all right, Molly Motorsports is the official Pistons of dragandrive.com. The Power Pack Piston, say that 3 times fast, is a perfect candidate for your drag and drive car. Molly is a team that not only supports the community, but also races with us. Product manager Eric Grillo, who raced a 10-second stick shift Nova at Hot Rod Drag Week. He's also competed in his Rocky Mountain Race Week C10 truck. It's a primer gray, has Molly real big on the door. Super cool. Visit Molly Motorsports for the most recent line of products. All right, let's jump into the comments here real quick before we get into the last little bit of entertainment from Howard's Cams. And I think for that one, we'll probably bring Eric back on. He's been working diligently behind the scenes here. Yeah, Devin Vanderhoof says that Summit came in clutch for us as well. That's awesome. It's so great to see everybody this morning. We've got more than 50 people in here watching on a day that I actually extended it. So y'all, I want to say thank you very much for that. Let me know if Saturday or Sunday works best for you. Typically Saturday works best for me, but had some struggles yesterday. So, all right, Pro, looks like we're caught up on the notes. Let's dang, JT Hudson. Y'all, that dude is famous. If he's in here, that means stuff's going right for us. Eric, I'm gonna bring in Craig Ridenour in here. Let's bring Eric in. Let's talk let's talk Howard's Cams, dude.
All right.
Yeah. So obviously Howard's Cams came on 2 weeks ago as the entertainment segment sponsor. So I reached out to Eric yesterday. I was like, hey, man, I need a few memes to get this going through here. I also had grabbed some stuff from Street to Strip Photography from the Sick Week catalog of photos they had. So if you have some funny photos, y'all, I'm going to be making memes all week for next week's show. And then, yeah, it's going to be a good time. So I'm going to make up a whole deal for the front of this. So let's talk about some of these memes, dude. Oh, nope, we're not yet because now I got to open it back up. Hey, listen, it's hard this morning. This is why live shows are like this. So,
got to get you one of these.
Dude, I'm telling you, I need something.
Rock star energy. No sponsor there, but
maybe. Hey,
hit me up. I could use
right?
that.
Yeah. How did we get the bottom screen off earlier? I don't remember.
Full screen.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Well, and we had it, of course, and then I messed it up. Yeah, perfect. All right, let me get back to here. Sorry, guys. Bear with us. We're working through this. Eric, what do you got going on today?
Not a whole lot. Yeah, probably getting caught up on some videos and pictures, and otherwise not a whole lot.
Why is it not coming up here?
Probably podcast would be the biggest thing. I got to get that going.
Yeah.
So for everybody that's in here, if you haven't or don't listen to the Motorsports Paparazzi podcast on Spotify, please go check that out. I need to get to 100 followers on Spotify, or they're going to stop monetizing my podcast, which to me was kind of weird. Usually most places, once you're monetized, they just kind of grandfather you, but apparently Spotify does not.
Well, that's not very nice.
That was my thoughts. Morning, Rich.
Eric, I can't find it, dude. What in the heck? This is intense, man. I don't like doing this whenever we have folks here watching.
Let's hear a bad dad joke in the meantime. So, funny story, I was actually working an event yesterday for my day job. We had an engineering, I don't know what you want to call it, seminar type thing where kids could come around and check out your booth. And I was working a microscope. And one of my favorite things is to show on a $5 bill. On the back of the bill at the top of the building, there's 26 states printed that most people don't know is there. But the place we're at gave us a bunch of little, I don't know, like scientific things. So one of them was a bee's leg. So speaking of bad dad jokes, I zoomed in on the bee, and when the kids were there, I'd point at the knee and I'm like, you guys know what this is? And they're like, no. And I'm like, that's the bee's knees. Most of the kids didn't find it funny. All of the parents did.
That's who knew you were a jokester. do you have the screen now?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So Eric sent several of these over, and I appreciate that. And this is all brought by Howard's Cams to you guys. I think this is going to be a fun segment. So please Send your funny memes that are appropriate for sharing and funny pictures that you'll see here in just a minute. So thank you to Howard's Cams for coming on for this. And obviously, if you have cam or valve train needs, we'd love for you to reach out to Lukey B at lukeb@howardscams.com. Curious enough to take it apart, skilled enough to put it back together, smart enough to hide the extra parts when I'm done. Do you keep a bucket of stuff laying around? Is that how you store your extra LS bolts?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have tons of parts bins with random bolts.
Yep. That's what I do as well. And then this is 100% of every person that is watching this right now. My wife is like, okay, I don't care. That which is I think typically that exact same face. What about
Pretty
yours, man?
much.
Does she gloss over?
Yeah, she's like, whatever.
Yeah,
She
okay,
know
cool.
she knows it's gonna come home anyway, so
Yeah. And I'd love to hear if anybody's been kicked out because of their inappropriate safety stuff. Track owner on a return road going 925 at 152 in something that shouldn't go 13s. I didn't know it'd
the
go that fast. Sorry, I apologize.
the
First
Fox
time out.
body the Fox body parts car I got, that's how I got the parts car because the guy was running it at one of our local tracks. This was, I think, Great Lake Drags in Wisconsin, and it
Hmm.
had no cage or anything, and the frame was rusted, and it went out there, and I forget what he told me it ran, but it was something stupid fast, and he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna put a cage in it, and I'm not gonna fix it." So he's like, "I just pulled everything out and sold me the car super cheap."
That's awesome. Then you pulled parts off of it, or what?
Yeah, yeah,
Or
basically.
that's what's behind you in that picture.
Nope, I stripped everything off of that car. I even cut the roof off and sold the roof to somebody.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When are you going to stop obsessing over cars and just be a normal person? Yeah, that's going to be at the corner of it. Never ever. Because I don't know what normal is. I don't even know how to talk to people. This one is one of my favorite memes of all time. And this should be a pinned picture on any Facebook group that people start talking about Turbo LS stuff. Because so many people, oh, I want to make a build of 800 to 1,000 horsepower, something like that. Y'all, I'm telling you, this 100% is what is happening to everyone as soon as they build something that makes 800. There was a funny story. Devin and Matt Happel were on the Sloppy radio show the other night, and Matt was saying that he used to the Colorado he built the Don't BS Me clone or the Don't BS Me build original. He said that he would put it to like 450 or 500 wheel and take people in for a ride in, and it'd blow their mind. And then he would tell them, "Oh, it only makes 500 wheel," and they would lie. They would fight with him about it. No way, no way. So I think that's what we're going to do with the old truck. Is just let it just kill tires.
Red Hat Scotty needs a red hat on that one.
Yeah, yeah. Except for his driving ability is he needs to be the dude that's wait a minute, hold on. When it's 100 degrees, 110 degrees, and you pulled the AC pump to make room for a turbo. This is every drag and drive person last week or 2 weeks ago sitting in that traffic, kind of like, whew, why didn't I have AC? Except for Chad Knoll, who had AC and power windows in his rig. Everybody's lived this life, and I'll tell you, black cars look great, but man, when it's 100 outside, I always the old truck has a black roof, and I'm always like, why did I do this? Why did I paint this top black? And then puts 10 millimeter socket on table, and then the 10 millimeter
Whee!
just rolls away. It doesn't matter. You can stand it on its end, and it still rolls away. So I don't know how many of those I've lost. I think as a new gift for the drag and drive events, we're going to send packets of 10 millimeter sockets as awards. So
I used
we'll
to
see.
have the Amazon pack down here with me that we got at PRI. Or
Yeah,
not Amazon, sorry, the eBay Motors pack.
yeah, yep,
But
yeah.
must be
I've lost one
upstairs.
of those already. The deep socket already. So, and then this is probably one of my favorite pictures. This really encapsulates drag and drive. Suited up, in his car, taking a little nappy nap. So I can't tell who this is from here, but somebody will know this person. And Matt Zelenko took the picture. This is the kind of stuff that I love about drag and drive, and this is where I'm at. If I was a photographer, these are the only pictures I'd take. Cole Reynolds does a good job of this too, and Chris Story gets a lot of great candid shots. And then the last one for this week is Blaine under the dash of Rich Guido's GTO, working, getting everything. I don't even know what he's wiring up there. I'll message Rich after this and get some story on that. But thought that was a pretty good run there, or pretty good picture there. So that's fun. Let's see. Oh no, last one here. I don't know why they're pushing this car, but they've got a jack under the back of it and they're pushing it off. I just thought it was showed really good teamwork here, and it looks like they're at Orlando. So somebody tore something up in another convertible Fox Body Mustang. So,
Probably
all right.
broke a rear end or something.
Yeah,
Locked
probably.
up.
Probably. All right. Well, cool. Well, guys, thank you very much. That is the Drag and Drive news for this morning. I want to say thank you for hanging out. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you to everybody that was in here that made comments and all that kind of stuff. We'll be back Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, with some guests and tons of news. We're going to dig a little deeper into some stats and things like that as I gather all of this stuff. Let's see. Speaking of rules, does a 315/60 Pro Radio qualify for Pro Street or modified? Yeah, but I don't know. That's hard. I'll have to take a look. I'll actually, for Midwest Drags, I'll reach out to Hyde and ask on that one. And then, oh, it looks like Sheldon Root in the picture there. And then this Facebook user says Pro Street for sure. I'll have to look at modified. So, all right, Devin, I'll text you here in just a little bit. I'll get something found. Works in Super Street. We'll let some folks answer on the tire question here as we run through that before we end the show.
Lane looking for Canadian candies.
Yeah. Sweet. All right. Looks like some folks are winding down there. Again, Wednesday night is going to be good. And then Eric doesn't even know this, but we just landed a second guest for 3/8. So 2 weeks or a week and a half, we'll have Emily Ballard and Cody on talking about a build, build off they're a part of, what her car is going to do for 2023, the plans for that. Emily Ballard, the fastest woman in Drag and Drive in 2022. So it's exciting. We got them and Cooper Bogetti on 3/8. I don't have my notes here pulled up for 3/1, but once I get those done, we'll know who's going to be out, because we'll have the thumbnail that will drop today for that episode. And again, guys, we'll see you Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Rich Woodward here says 315 in Super Street via Drag Week rules, 11.5 inch cross section. I think that's all they say, with 20 pounds of pressure in it, with a go no go gauge. Hey, Paul Castiglione. That's right. Well, so that's not how it works, friend. But hopefully, we'll make a list this year. So we're going to have a lot more lists. So, all right, we're leaving. Bye, guys.
See ya.